Hello and welcome. You're watching Inside the Gati project on Times Now. I'm Hina Gambhir. Over the next 30 minutes, we will try to decode for you NDA government's ambitious 100 lakh crore Gati Shakti national plan for multimodal connectivity that was unveiled by Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier this week. The industry has called it a transformative move. It aims to bring technology closer to the infrastructure sector. It aims to improve the execution of infrastructure projects in our country. It also aims to end red tapeism. Not just that, the idea is also to make the process quite efficient from the announcement of the project to its inauguration. Too many objectives, right? So how will this really happen? Let's find out.
India is among the world's fastest growing economies and is in the midst of a massive infrastructure push. Over the years, across governments, there have been several announcements made, many projects launched, many promises made, but how many have actually achieved fruition? The gap between launch and implementation, between laying the foundation stone and actual execution, has been a yawning one. Yes, there have been serious improvements made and that gap may have reduced, but it still remains and there is now a stronger determination to close it. The data that was put out by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation in the month of July paints a revealing picture. The ministry monitors infrastructure projects worth rupees 150 crore and above, and of the 1,781 such projects, 483 had reported cost overruns and as many as 504 were delayed. The report said, and I quote, "The total original cost of implementation of the 1,781 projects was rupees 22,82,160.40 crore, and their anticipated completion cost is likely to be rupees 27,25,408 crore, which reflects overall cost overruns of rupees 4,43,247.6 crore, which is 19.42% of the original cost." Stop quote. And here's more. Of the 504 delayed projects, 92 experienced an overall delay of 1 to 12 months, 118 were delayed for 13 to 24 months, 178 were delayed for 25 to 60 months, and as many as 116 for a period of 61 months or more. The average time overrun for these 504 projects was 46.85 months, which is almost 4 years. Several reasons were cited for these delays as well as overruns. These included issues with regards to the grant of clearances, land acquisition problems, lack of infrastructure support, linkages, project financing issues, supply of equipment on time, and even the lockdowns due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Many of these problems were also logistical in nature. Supply chain issues and the costs associated with them have been a serious problem. The Confederation of Indian Industry, in association with Arthur D. Little, had stated that logistics costs in India in supply chains were about 14% of the GDP. This figure, according to the report, was around 8 to 10% in the United States and Europe and around 9% in China. The global average is known to be around 8%. According to the report, India's competitiveness in this regard has been impacted. The report says that even though countries like Thailand and Vietnam have higher logistics costs, around 16 to 17% of the GDP, their competitiveness is better. Hence their higher ranking on the World Bank Logistics Performance Index, which incorporates various factors such as customs, infrastructure, international shipments, logistics competence, tracking and tracing, and timeliness. It is in this context that the launch of PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan for Multimodal Connectivity assumes significance. The initiative is aimed using digital technology to ensure better synergy between various government departments and ministries in the execution of infrastructure projects, provide connectivity for movement of people, transport and goods and services, also improving last mile connectivity for infrastructure and reducing travel time. PM Gati Shakti brings together as many as 16 ministries to promote greater infrastructural connectivity and also projects involving state governments. Some major infrastructure initiatives that will fall within the PM Gati Shakti's ambit are Bharatmala, Sagarmala, ports, inland waterways, and also several economic zones that cover textile and pharmaceutical sectors, defense and industrial corridors, among others.
ये समय भारत की आजादी के 75 वर्ष का है, आजादी के अमृत काल का है। आत्मनिर्भर भारत के संकल्प के साथ हम अगले 25 वर्षों के भारत की बुनियाद रच रहे हैं। पीएम गति शक्ति नेशनल मास्टर प्लान भारत के इसी आत्मबल को, आत्मविश्वास को, आत्मनिर्भरता के संकल्प तक ले जाने वाला है। ये नेशनल मास्टर प्लान 21वीं सदी के भारत को गति शक्ति देगा। नेक्स्ट जनरेशन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और मल्टी मॉडल कनेक्टिविटी को इस नेशनल प्लान से गति शक्ति मिलेगी। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर से जुड़ी सरकारी नीतियों में प्लानिंग से लेकर एग्जीक्यूशन तक को ये नेशनल प्लान गति शक्ति देगा। सरकार के प्रोजेक्ट्स तय समय सीमा के भीतर पूरे हों, इसके लिए ये गति शक्ति नेशनल प्लान सही जानकारी और सटीक मार्गदर्शन करेगा। गति शक्ति के इस महाअभियान के केंद्र में हैं भारत के लोग, भारत की इंडस्ट्री, भारत का व्यापार जगत, भारत के मैन्युफैक्चरर्स, भारत के किसान, भारत का गांव। ये भारत की वर्तमान और आने वाली पीढ़ियों को 21वीं सदी के भारत के निर्माण के लिए नई ऊर्जा देगा।
The initiative combines several features. It will guide ministries, the various departments and state governments as well as private sector stakeholders for the establishment of economic zones and connectivity infrastructure. It will evolve norms that will become the basis for examination and eventual approval according to the National Master Plan. It will also look into the steps that need to be taken for reducing logistics costs or using alternative fuel or rationalizing taxes as well as effective means of transporting bulk goods or raw material.
The Honorable Prime Minister in 2019 gave us his vision how we should integrate all the planning done by different ministries within the central government, all the states, all the local bodies, and come up with a well thought of, well designed, technological based solution which will integrate all the projects that are being undertaken and the data mapping the landscape of the entire country so that infrastructure projects can be better designed, more effectively designed, costing can be brought down, overruns of time and cost can be controlled. Timely completion will mean that people will get the benefit of these projects. Therefore, there is an opportunity benefit, all of which will ultimately lead to transparency. Integral, comprehensive working will lead to faster execution of projects, faster approval systems. It will lead to efficiency in implementing these projects. Lower costs will lead to our ability to do more projects, and the summation of all of this will be ease of doing business for those who do, carry out business in India, and ease of living for 130 crore Indians.
जिस तरह से कोई एक प्रोजेक्ट को अगर अप्रूव करने के कई 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 डिपार्टमेंट्स होते हैं, फिर सेम अलाइनमेंट पे दूसरे प्रोजेक्ट को अप्रूव करने के लिए 6, 7, 8, 9 डिपार्टमेंट लग जाए, इसके बजाय किस तरह से सब चीज़ें साथ हो सके ताकि एक इंटीग्रेटेड लॉजिस्टिक्स का सिस्टम बने, ये उसकी मूल अवधारणा है। और ये अपने देश में अत्यंत ज़रूरी है क्योंकि हमारे देश में लॉजिस्टिक्स की कॉस्ट काफ़ी ज़्यादा है कंपेयर टू अदर कंट्रीज़। आप सब जानते हैं जीडीपी का 13% के आसपास हमारी लॉजिस्टिक्स की कॉस्ट आती है। उसको कैसे कम किया जाए, वो कम होने से देश में गुणवत्ता बढ़ेगी, कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस आएगा और एक आम नागरिक के लिए जो कॉस्ट होती है वो कॉस्ट कम होएगी। ये सब सोच के एक वर्ल्ड क्लास इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की तरफ बढ़ना, कॉस्ट कम होना, लॉजिस्टिक्स की कॉस्ट कम होना, इन सब चीज़ों को ध्यान में रखते हुए गतिशक्ति का प्रारूप बनाया गया है। रेलवे की तरफ से इसका महत्वपूर्ण योगदान रहेगा। रेलवे के साथ नेटवर्क फाइबर, इंटरनेट का जो ऑप्टिकल फाइबर है वो पूरा फाइबर नेटवर्क उसके साथ जाए। और सबसे बड़ी बात, रेलवे के जो गुड्स का कार्गो का ट्रैफिक है उसमें मल्टी मोडल कार्गो टर्मिनल कैसे बने, सबसे बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन रेलवे की तरफ से रहेगा मल्टी मॉडल कार्गो टर्मिनल्स।
The PM Gati Shakti, which is a 100 lakh crore project, involves the establishment of an empowered group of secretaries to formulate and approve any changes in the master plan. This includes the secretaries of the Ministry of Railways, Roads and Transport, Civil Aviation, Coal, Chemicals and Fertilizers, as well as others. An integrated multimodal network planning group will be in charge of integrating various proposals and assisting the empowered group of secretaries. All data inputs will be mapped in the master plan developed by the Bhaskaracharya National Institute for Space Applications and Geoinformatics, which includes a comprehensive database that monitors each project under each ministry, their timelines, status, progress, and completion across the country. Each ministry will be given a separate ID to access the system and update their respective inputs, and geospatial data for each participant in this initiative will be developed using the latest satellite imagery as well.
Simply put, the Gati Shakti project will create a geospatial digital platform through which all the stakeholders will be able to get real-time updates about any particular project. But will it be as simple as it sounds? Well, here's what the experts have to say about the challenges that need attention.
There is no doubt that this is a huge challenge. Undertaking such large-scale projects is a daunting task for anybody. But at the same time, I would say that if any prime minister can execute that, I think Prime Minister Modi is that prime minister. One of the big things that we did was the quadrilateral highway project and the east-west, north-south highway project. At the time, that looked like a daunting task, but we managed to do it. And I think we, with Prime Minister Modi guiding at the top, I think this can be done as well. There is no doubt this will require a lot of coordination by the Prime Minister directly. So he would need to actually be very hands-on on this, ensuring that the bureaucratic bottlenecks are quickly resolved. Because within our system, there is a tendency, and no doubt that this does carry the risk of putting another layer of regulation, right? If the project means that any of the smaller parts of the project have to be cleared by the central authority, which is looking after this particular project, then that adds a layer of regulation. So we need to be cognizant of that fact. And not let the bureaucratic hurdles come in the way. And as I said, Prime Minister will need to be very hands-on.
The three challenges actually follow from the opportunity. It is not going to be easy to do these three things. For example, continuous monitoring. So mechanisms will have to be created where the interaction is institutionalized to some extent. If there is just a dashboard out there, it may not occur by itself. So some institutional mechanism will be have to still be created where there is some formal interaction, maybe once a year, maybe, as I said, every 6 months or whatever. The second, the part where I said the people have the opportunity to see, the general public, NGOs, so public representative, one thinks of NGOs who are interested in their welfare. There's maybe local where the project is being instituted, etc. Again, from my experience, there are just as an illustrative example, if 100 suggestions are received, 90% of those are kind of useless. Generally, about 10% are good, and about 1/10 of those who are worth looking at actually are implementable and doable. So what do I mean by that? What it means is that there has to be some mechanism again for looking through, examining these suggestions and selecting those who are who can in principle be implemented. That is a challenge. So that's the second challenge. The third one, again, connected to what good possibilities it makes possible, is this connection, as I said, from project completion to monitoring it as it starts to provide services. So again, that is going to be a challenge. And among those, in a way, the bigger challenge is that departments which are not connected with these specific infrastructure would have to be connected with it when you go to the infrastructure service provision.
The Prime Minister has made a very, very ambitious plan for 100 lakh crores of Gati Shakti National Master Plan. This is certainly one of the most ambitious targets of the Prime Minister. Talked about the $5 trillion economy to be achieved. In order that something like that to be achieved, certainly he needed to put this kind of master plan as a master stroke in order to do it. What does it entail? Roads, railways, water transport, multi-modal transport, airports, all the other infrastructure that our country is going to do, which will bring down the cost of transportation. And transportation of goods makes a very efficient economy that is going to take place. The multiplier effect of all this is going to be able to increase employment and also raise the GDP growth to maybe 12 to 14% per annum once the takeoff takes place. So I think this is something which is tremendous and we look forward to it.
What we have faced, one of the key problems is that, bureaucracy doesn't take decisions in time because it's afraid that there'll be a lot of corruption cases and so on, which has been seen in the past. So I think somewhere, bureaucracy has to work faster because without that, without the human element, even if we have computer coordination and so on, the human element is very important. Secondly, we need to plan better. We haven't been planning properly. And that's why, without proper planning, everything goes out of gear. For instance, we need to know at what stage, how much expenditure is required to complete a project. If we don't do that, then the project delays will continue. And if project delays continue, then cost overruns will be there and the infrastructure will get more expensive. So I think this financial allocation is very important. And also private sector, which will be investing, that needs to be assured that they will be able to get the profit that they expect out of these projects. But if they are very high cost projects, then it's very likely that the private sector will not be able to generate the profits as we have seen in the past. So our road projects, our power projects, they all went into NPAs because the kind of profit that was expected could not be generated. So how would the private sector get the profit that they expect if they are to invest that much? Or alternatively, the government would have to find the resources to do that investment.
And one talks of challenges also because specific targets have been set for each ministry until 2024-25. These include, for instance, expanding the length of the national highway network to 2 lakh route kilometers or increasing the cargo to be handled by the Indian Railways network to 1,600 tons from 1,210 tons. The same applies to ports, with the expected cargo capacity handled to go up to 1,759 million metric tons per annum from 1,282 million metric tons per annum in 2020, or increasing the number of operational airports, heliports or water aerodromes to 220. For the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, one of the targets is to connect all the states with the trunk natural gas pipeline network by 2027. The Power Ministry has been tasked with significantly expanding the length of the transmission network. There's also an emphasis on increasing India's renewable energy capacity and all villages to be connected with 4G mobile connectivity by 2022. Targets have also been laid out for other ministries as well. The number of mega food parks and agro-processing centres is set to go up to around 197. Doubling fishing exports is a matter of priority. So is establishing defence corridors or setting up more electronics manufacturing clusters, pharmaceutical and medical device clusters, textile parks, and as many as 11 industrial corridors. There are big plans, but will these overcome the implementation hurdle that projects of the past have run into? The PM Gati Shakti initiative has been launched to ensure these hurdles are overcome. We will wait and see.